In the 16th century, an iron prosthetic gauntlet was made for a German knight who had lost his arm during a battle. This prosthetic gauntlet had the ability to move individual fingers with the press of a single button. The prosthetic gauntlet now resides in a museum where it still functions to this day. Hello, my name is Nicholas McKinley. I'm a 10th grader at Capstone Academy, and I'm a member of Paulding County's Senior 4-H Club. Today, I will be talking about bionic prosthetics. The idea of prosthetics becoming much more comfortable in society is due to pop culture. An example of this is in the new movie Alita, where prosthetics are seen to be used in everyday life. A real-life example of this is when a young girl named Tilly was given 2 advanced bionic arms, which are replicas of the prosthetics used in the movie Alita. Another example is when a young boy named Alex Pring was born. He was born without his right arm. Robert Downey Jr., who plays the role of Iron Man, had the opportunity to present Alex Pring with his very own bionic arm. Finally, an example that you all may know is Dolphin Tail, where a dolphin had unfortunately lost its tail, and it was replaced with its very own prosthetic. Although the real heroes behind all these stories are the prosthetists that made these bionic limbs, such as Joel Gibbard, who made both of Tilly's bionic arms, Albert Monero, who made Alex Pring arm, and Kevin Carroll, who made Winter's tail. Today, I will be talking about my interest in engineering, bionics, and prosthetics. What is bionics or bionics? What is the research that is being done in this subject today? The most advanced bionic hands being provided to the public and the bionic hands that I have made, and the new innovations that continue to aid the use of bionic prosthetics to this day. Now, what young boy doesn't like robotics? So as a young boy, I was always building things, whether it was with Lincoln Logs or Legos, and I was always looking research up. But my first real glimpse into the subject of prosthetics was when my family and I watched a show, where a family had adopted a bunch of young children who were missing limbs. Because of this, doctors created them simplistic prosthetic limbs, although the children felt like these prosthetic limbs limited them. So I set a goal that in the future I would make advanced bionic limbs for children just like these. My journey into prosthetics first started when I was 9 years old, when I visited Georgia Tech, the Center for Prosthetic and Orthotic Research, where I met Mr. Robert Kistenberg, who taught me everything I would need to know about prosthetics. Next, in 2014, I had gone back to Mr. Kistenberg, where he helped me create my very own simplistic robotic hands. In 2015, I was able to interview a prosthetist at Hanger Prosthetics, which is the world's largest prosthetic providing company today. Throughout all these events, I was able to sharpen my knowledge of robotics through my school's very own robotics team. Next, in 2017, I was able to visit MIT and MIT's very own robotics museum, and I was even able to get a sneak peek in their most advanced bionics lab. In 2018, I was able to visit Embry-Riddle and Georgia Tech again and see many of their new technological advancements. Most recently, I was able to visit Limitless Solutions, where I interviewed Albert Monero, the founder and president of Limitless Solutions. I was also able to interview Kevin Carroll, who is the vice president of Hanger Prosthetics. Throughout all these events, I've been able to share my knowledge through various classes, posters, exhibits, fairs, presentations, and even my very own YouTube channel. A video that I taught on how to make a simplistic robotic hand was even featured in 4-H's Inspired Kids to Do activity guide. Now, what is the term biomechatronics, or biomechatronics? It is the study of mechanical systems that function like living organisms, or parts of living organisms. Now, what is the difference between biomechatronics and bionics? Is that biomechatronics is the more advanced term, where bionics is the more layman's term. The first thing that comes up when you look up the term bionics is Hugh Herr, also known as the Bionic Man. Now, when Hugh Herr was a young man, he had lost both of his legs due to a tragic rock climbing accident. And because of this, doctors also built him simplistic prosthetic limbs. Just like the children I mentioned earlier, he felt like these limbs limited him, which later encouraged him to make his very own advanced bionic limbs. which later encouraged him to study the subject in college and become the lead researcher he is today. Now, being that this subject is so huge, there are many universities doing research on this subject. One of them being Johns Hopkins University, which focuses on upper body prosthetics. They are researching how they make their limbs become anthropomorphic and have a lifelike appearance. How does it have human-like strength and dexterity? How does it have high-resolution, tactile, and positioning sensing like we have on the tips of our fingers? And the most advanced being neural interface. So how do the limbs have intuitive and natural control that we can use with our brain? Next, we have MIT, which focuses on lower body prosthetics, where Hugh Herr is actually the lead researcher at MIT. They are researching their limb's exterior interface, and how does the bionic limb attach to the residual limb? How is it dynamic and move with the normal stride, like our normal limbs? And finally, electrical interface, which is similar to neural interface, which is how does the bionic limb work with the body's own nervous system? Next, in our very own backyard, we have Georgia Tech, which has a prosthetics lab that I was able to visit, and most recently, a new lab, which is called the Institute for Robotics and Intelligent Machines. Now today, I will be talking about some of the most advanced bionic hands being provided to the public. Two of them being the B-bionic limb and the I-limb. Now, some similarities between the two is that both limbs can be fitted in 3 different sizes. Also, both limbs can be programmed via using a computer or, more recently, an app that you can download on your phone. A final similarity being the prices. Both can range anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000. In an interview with Taylor Jones at Hanger Prosthetics, he showed me how the B-bionic limb works. It is able to be programmed in 8 different positions. 2 with the thumb down, 2 with the thumb up, and 4 where the thumb is neutral. Here you can see he's demonstrating how the B-bionic limb works. The next bionic limbs are created by Open Bionics, which is a European company which focuses on creating customizable 3D printed bionic limbs, which was founded by Joel Gibbard, who made Tilly's bionic arms. Now, being that their bionic limbs are 3D printed, it makes it much more cost efficient, where their limbs only take $600 to $3,000 to create. Also, being that they are 3D printed gives much more customizable options. Now, Open Bionics has the ability to actually make the bionic limbs, but they also have the ability to send the schematics to anyone across the world, so anyone has access to their technology. Next, we have Limitless Solutions, which is a non-profit organization which not only makes bionic hands, but makes experiences for children who get these bionic hands. Limitless Solutions was founded by Albert Monero after his very own experience with Alex Prain. When I was able to visit Limitless Solutions, they showed me one of their newer models, which tackled the problem of the bionic limbs being too heavy. The way they fixed this is by placing the circuit board and the power source in the arm, and the microcomputer in the hand, weighing out the whole hand, making it easier for children to use. Also, being that they are 3D printed, makes it much more cost efficient as well, where their limbs only go from $600 and can be resized for a child as little as $70, although no child is required to pay the price. Limitless Solutions has set a goal to deliver 5,000 hands to children across the world by 2020. To help create the experiences, Limitless Solutions has created multiple video games, which helps children learn how to use their bionic hands. Now, there have been many innovations made to help the use of bionic limbs. One of them being Winter's Gel, which was created by Kevin Carroll while he was making Winter's prosthetic limb. It is used to apply the prosthetic limb to the residual limb without causing any damage. Next, with neural interface, is allowing us to use these bionic limbs with our brain, giving us natural and intuitive control, like our normal limbs. Finally, with the creation of microcomputers, gives us much more accessibility to bionic limbs. Today, I will be talking about my very own bionic hands that I have made. My first bionic hand was when I was with Mr. Robert Kistenberg. It focuses on a simple pulley system, which are attached to the fingers. Pulling on the strings makes the fingers move. My next bionic limbs focus on the aspect of a microcomputer, where my second bionic limb My second bionic limb was made with my school's very own robotics team, where I'm able to program it to have a simple open and close like function, like a claw. My next and most advanced bionic limb also focuses on a microcomputer, which is called the Arduino board. I'm able to program the Arduino board to move servo motors, which are connected to the fingers, giving me the ability to move the individual fingers, as you can see in the video. Now today, I've talked about bionic prosthetics, my interest in bionics, what is the term biometronics or bionics, the cutting-edge research that is being done in the subject today, the most advanced bionic hands being provided to the public, and the bionic hands that I myself have made, and the new innovations that continue to aid the use of prosthetics to this day. Thank you for watching my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed.